Okay, I'm back. I'm gonna show you real quick what I sewed so far, just to kind of get ready to put everything together. And I did sew one of these cards on to show you how that's gonna look before, and that might help. So, okay, on this one right here, I just sewed on these two laces to go on top of the two pockets before I sewed everything in place. And the other side's the front, so I didn't sew anything onto that one. This one right here, I just had some acetate from some packaging. Let me get that where you can see it. And then I just put a little butterfly sticker in between it and cut it to size and sewed around the edge on that so that when I put that in place, it'll just be a little pocket right there. This little pocket, or sideways pocket, it just needed some lace along here that I sewed on. Let's see. Okay, this one right here, I'll bring the whole thing. This is just the card, and then I cut it down about 1 3/4 inches. And I just made a little notebook. I just sewed these papers right in here just by taking a scrap and folding over the top. And then these papers are stuck right in there. Hopefully you can kind of get an idea of how that comes together. But you know, some avocado dyed paper, scraps, book papers, coffee papers, whatever you've got. And then this little back piece of cardstock will tuck right into there. And that one will be good to go. So I did sew right across the top of that. Let's see, nothing is sewed on that one. Oh, this one right here. This is the belly band page. And I sewed lace across both edges of the belly band. And inside I made just a little book that's going to tuck right under that, hopefully, if all goes as planned when I'm all done. I just made this using coin envelopes, 2 of them stuck together kind of like a little book. And again, I kind of cut this one down a little bit so that I sewed across there, and again did that same method. Little scraps in there for journaling. And then that'll tuck right down in there. And I cut off the top of this little coin envelope so that there's a little card tuck right there. And just to embellish the front and the inside right here. So fun, fun, fun little book. And that is all I sewed of the pieces. Now yours might be totally different. Totally fine. Do what you want. Make your pockets how you want. Make your tucks how you want. Whatever works for you. Okay, so I want to walk through the start. Let me get these to the side the best that I can. On camera, my desk might look organized, but you guys, it's not. It's not. Let's be real. Let's be real here. Okay, so what I did is I took the card that was meant to be the front, and I took my first pocket. And I added some glue right along here and here and here. And I put this first page down and glued very lightly the little pockets on here. And just to hold it in place while I'm sewing. Now you'll notice this centerpiece is sticking out. That's because at the end of this is going to be a tie. It will wrap around and tie. So that one's long, and I mostly lined these up, but I did want them to get stitched. So if you want to leave them hanging out a little bit and then trim after you sew, great, because you want to stitch through that to kind of stick everything together. And then after I had glued it, I flipped it over, and I also glued barely this front piece on top of the other sides of the ribbons. So now I have my front cover. Then after it dried just a second, I went and I have just stitched around the edges. So now you can see this is entirely stitched around the edges here. My ribbons are in there nice and tight. And I'm going to go ahead and do the next set of papers on camera so you can see how it kind of comes together. But it's really easy. Just a word of caution, when you're sewing, watch those ribbons because they'll try to get in your way. Yes, I found that out. You are welcome for finding that out for you. All right, it's almost time for a new bottle. Okay, I'm just putting barely any on. I'll probably just go along the bottom just to hold that in place while I'm stitching, because I don't need to do anything major because I am sewing around the edges, but I want everything to just hold still while I'm sewing. So line that up and we'll let it dry. All right, now I am going to just put a little glue on each of these, kind of straighten them out. I just eyeball it. You guys could measure. I don't like measuring. It's junk journaling, for pity's sake. No, measure away. If that's your thing, man, you measure. But me, I just kind of eyeball it. Okay, so I want to leave a little bit of a gap. It does not have to be measured out there either. Want to line it up and just kind of press that down. Let that dry for just a second. While that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and lightly glue this little side pocket on. I'm just going to glue along these edges right here where the pocket's going to go. And then pop this guy right on there. Line it up the best you can. All right, now I'm going to carefully just turn that over, because I'm going to be gluing this other piece over to hide the ribbons, right? Easy peasy. That's not cooperating though. I'm going to pull those tighter. There we go. Just get that lined up. This is my high-tech way of doing it. There we go. All right, now I've got some nice straight lines there to work with. And I'm just going to put a little, you can put it wherever, you can put it on the paper, it doesn't matter. All right, this guy is going to come right here. Line them up best you can. If there's a little, like up here, it's not perfect, then when I'm done sewing, I'll probably just go over both sides very lightly with ink, just to go ahead and try to cover some of that. If there's any, you know how they're just not always exactly the same depending on how you cut it. Okay, now I'm not going to sew this on camera, but I am going to start going and working my way down and doing all of these, and then I will be back to show you the next part. So I love how it's coming together. Awesome. We'll see you soon.